She stormed onto my driveway like she owned the place, waving a paper in my face. "You've got 72 hours to move that boat, or we'll fine you $1,000 a day," Karen snapped, her sunglasses sliding down her nose as if she was delivering the law herself. I looked past her at my boat, sitting clean and polished, tied down like a piece of pride. "That's funny," I said slowly, "because I don't see your name anywhere on my property deed." She smirked, lips twitching with that entitled grin. "HOA rules apply to everyone," she fired back, "and if you don't follow, we'll make sure you regret it." Her words should have scared me, but I kept my calm. What she didn't know, what none of them knew, was that the only marina in this entire community, the very one all the HOA board members used to dock their luxury yachts, was sitting on land I owned outright. The same land she was now standing on, barking threats at me. I leaned against the boat trailer and let her rant, letting her think she was winning. Inside, though, I was already deciding how far I'd let her push before pulling the rug out from under her. "You think you're untouchable?" she hissed, scribbling something on her clipboard. "I'll have this boat towed by tomorrow." I tilted my head, watching her stomp back toward her SUV, her heels sinking into the gravel. She didn't even glance back, certain she had scared me into obedience. But if she thought threatening my boat was going to break me, she was about to learn just how dangerous it is to poke a man who controls the water they can't live without. The very next morning, I heard the rumble of a tow truck pulling up outside my gate. Karen was standing beside it, arms crossed, her little clipboard in hand, like it was some badge of honor. "Move the boat, or we'll move it for you," she announced loud enough for the whole street to hear. Neighbors peeked through blinds, some even pulling out phones, waiting to see me humiliated. I didn't flinch. Instead, I walked up slowly, calm as ever. "You sure you want to do this?" I asked the driver, shifted uncomfortably, glancing between me and Karen. "Ma'am, is this even legal?" He whispered. Karen snapped her fingers at him. "Don't question me. This man is violating HOA rules. Tow it." The driver shrugged and started backing up toward my boat. That's when I pulled out a folded stack of papers from my jacket. "Before you hook that up," I said, my voice low but sharp, "you should know this boat sits on private property. And that driveway? That's my land, which means if you touch it, you'll be trespassing." Karen's face twisted, but before she could interrupt, I added the kicker. "Oh, and by the way, the marina your board uses for their weekend parties, the one you all can't function without?" I held up the deed. "It's mine, every inch of it." For the first time, Karen's confidence cracked. The driver froze, clearly not wanting to get caught in the middle of something bigger. Neighbors leaned closer, sensing the shift. Karen's mouth opened, but no words came out. I smiled. "Go ahead, tow my boat. But when your entire HOA gets locked out of the only water access they have, you'll wish you never set foot on my property." Karen's SUV screeched back into the cul-de-sac that evening, headlights bouncing across my yard like searchlights. She didn't come alone this time. 3 board members piled out with her, all dressed up like they were headed to court instead of my driveway. One of them waved a folder thick with papers. "You're in serious violation," he declared, voice trembling but trying to sound firm. "We're filing an injunction against you." I leaned against the boat trailer again, same calm posture. As before? An injunction? I chuckled. "For what, toning the ground under your yachts?" The neighbors gathering around laughed nervously, unsure if they should stay or run before things exploded. Karen's face turned red. "You think this is a joke? You won't have that marina much longer. We have friends in high places." I stepped forward, holding my phone out so the flashlight cut across their smug faces. "Funny you should say that," I murmured, tapping the screen. A video started playing surveillance footage I'd set up weeks earlier. On it, the same board members were clearly visible, sneaking into the marina late at night, holding private events and pocketing money from under-the-table rentals. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Karen lunged for my phone, but I pulled it back. "Careful," I warned. "This is backed up to the cloud, sent to a lawyer who doesn't answer to your little HOA." The board members froze, realizing the trap. Karen's bravado slipped for just a second before she hissed, "You wouldn't dare?" I smiled, slow and steady. "Try me." Karen's voice rose to a piercing shriek, loud enough that porch lights flicked on up and down the street. He's lying. She screamed, jabbing a finger at me like it was a weapon. This man is dangerous. He's blackmailing us. Words echoed in the night. But instead of sympathy, she got whispers and phone cameras zooming in. Neighbors weren't buying it anymore. One of the board members tugged at her sleeve, muttering, "Karen, stop. People are recording." She yanked her arm away and stomped toward me. "You think you can embarrass me? I'll have you arrested before sunrise?" I didn't move. Instead, I tilted my phone, showing the screen again. This time it wasn't just video. It was paperwork, permits, tax records, and the full deed to the marina. I spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. This land, this marina, every dock and slip you've been trespassing on my property for years. Every fine you've ever tried to slap on me? Worthless. A gasp shot through the crowd, but Karen doubled down. She lunged closer, her face inches from mine, and hissed, "I'll shut you down. I don't care what you own." Her eyes flicked to the cameras around us, realizing too late that her threats were now evidence. That's when I heard sirens in the distance, blue and red, flashing down the road, cutting through the night like knives. Karen's smirk returned for a second. Finally, she spat. "Real law enforcement.
Oh.
You'll see what happens when you mess with the HOA." But what she didn't know was that I had already called them. And this time, they weren't here for me. Two cruisers rolled to a stop, lights painting the whole street in red and blue. The officers stepped out, hands resting on their belts, scanning the crowd. Karen bolted toward them, her heels clacking against the pavement. "Thank God you're here," she cried, pointing at me like I was a wanted fugitive. "Arrest him immediately. He's threatening us, harassing the HOA, and illegally blocking the marina." The taller officer held up a hand. "Slow down, ma'am. We'll sort this out." He turned toward me. "Sir, your name?" I handed him my ID without a word. Glanced at it, then back at me. Something shifted in his expression. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "So you're the owner?" Karen overheard and scoffed. "Owner, please. He's bluffing." "I have all the paperwork," she shoved her folder into the officer's chest. He flipped it open, scanned the top page, then frowned. "This isn't a deed. These are just HOA bylaws." Gasps rippled through the neighbors. Karen's face drained of color, but she tried again. But, he can't control the marina. Belongs to the association." I reached into my jacket and pulled out the certified documents I'd kept ready for this very moment. I handed them over. The officer read carefully, then nodded. "These are legit, county-stamped. The marina is an HOA property. It's his." He looked at Karen flatly. "You and your board have been trespassing." The crowd erupted, phones catching every second, neighbors whispering like wildfire. Karen's jaw dropped. "That's impossible," she stammered. The other officer had already stepped behind her. "Ma'am, if you knowingly filed false claims and tried to seize property that isn't yours, that's fraud." Karen spun around, her shrill voice cracking. "No, I'm the president of this HOA. You can't do this to me." But for the first time, I saw fear in her eyes.